Hello, students. This week's skill practice focuses on inferring. We talked a lot about inferring in class and how you take your observations and what you read in your text and you come up with something that you figure out about that information. You could start with I infer, I predict, I know, and we have a packet here to practice these skills. So I will go ahead and read the questions. Here we go. Making inferences. Directions. Read each passage and then respond to the questions. Each question will ask you to make a logical inference based on textual details. Explain your answer by referencing the text. Tommy, Mom called out as she walked in the front door. Tommy, she continued shouting, I sure could use some help with the groceries. There was still no reply. Mom walked into the kitchen to put the grocery bags down on the counter when she noticed shattered glass from the picture window all over the living room floor and a baseball not far from there. I'm so mad at you, Tommy, Mom yelled to herself as she realized that Tommy's shoes were gone. What happened to the window? How do you know this? Prove it using the text. Number 2. Cassie rolled over in her bed as she felt the sunlight hit her face. The beams were warming the back of her neck when she slowly realized that it was Thursday. And she felt a little too good for Thursday. Struggling to open her eyes, she looked up at the clock. 9:48, she shouted. Holy cow! Cassie jumped out of bed, threw on the first outfit that she grabbed, brushed her teeth in 2 swipes, threw her books into her backpack, and then ran out the door. What problem is Cassie having? How do you know this? Make sure you prove it with the text. Where is Cassie going? How do you know this? Prove it with the text. Number 3. James licked the final square, posted it at the top corner of the envelope, and dropped it in the large blue box. He hoped it would get there in time. Nobody likes a late birthday message. What is James doing? And how do you know this? What are your clues? Number 4. Maurice loved the feeling of being launched at such fast speeds. He looked forward to the twists and turns and the upside-down loops. The park had gotten so expensive that his family could only afford to go once a year. So Maurice would count down the days until he could feel his hair blowing in the wind as he raced around the track. Where does Maurice's family go once a year? How do you know this? Prove your answer with the text. Number 5. Of all the chores Tavon had around the house, it was his least favorite. Folding laundry was fine. Doing the dishes, that was all right. But he couldn't stand hauling the large bags over to the giant silver canisters. He hated the smell and the possibility of rats. It was disgusting. What chore does Tavon hate? How do you know this? Make sure you prove your answer with clues from the text. And finally, number 6. The campers sat at the campfire, laughing and having a good time, when a strange noise came from the woods. The campers suddenly became silent and sat very still, as they could hear a rustling in the bushes. They had heard that bears were known to have lived around this area, and therefore began to panic. Suddenly, the creature appeared from the bushes. It was hardly a bear. In fact, the large whiskers, twitching nose, and floppy ears couldn't have scared anyone. What is the animal that visits the camp? How do you know this? Prove your answer using the text.